All right, day 20. I can't believe I've been doing this for 20 days straight. Pretty proud of myself. If you look in my corner here, I made some changes, and I'm still deciding how I feel about them. I'm still getting my voice back, but I'm mostly there. I hope it hope it's not painful to listen to. I hope it's mostly okay. So, um, couple changes. So for the last, I'd say since Saturday, Sunday, I was having the most fun ever. But I also, of course, need to knock myself down, and I'm probably the heaviest I've ever been in my whole life, which I'm sure there's a lot of people that would say I'm not that heavy and whatever, but I feel heavy. It doesn't feel like me, and that's just life, right? So I'm about 5'10". I've historically fluctuated between like 160 and 170 most of my like adult years, I would say. But since having our two kids, I'm up to I was in the 70s for the last year, and then of course I just bad habits and everything. I just fell into. I checked the scale yesterday, or sorry, I should say Sunday morning ish, and I was 183 and a half. And I use the same scale. I know what my weight is generally. I know I've been gaining weight, but I haven't really cared because I've just been having fun. I've been like feeling good about it. I've been just having a couple extra candies here and there, and not taking it too seriously. But I think I'm gonna start taking it more seriously, and so I've been doing that for the last 2 days. Yesterday or Sunday night, I did pretty well. I didn't. I've been trying to be more portion control-y and snacking on vegetables, and so I think Sunday I probably had a little bit less than 2,000 calories. Yesterday I got it down to about 1,000, somewhere around 1,400 calories. Um, and then I think I'm gonna try to stay around 1,500 calories every day for as long as I can. I have like we might go on vacation soon, so that'll probably suck, and I'll probably break it. And I have a bachelor party coming up in August, so I'll probably break it then. Um, but I'm gonna try to, if I can go until August, not breaking it, that'd be pretty cool. So my goal is to get back into like 165. I mean, it'd be great to be 160. I guess 160 might be my goal, but my goal is more of just doing it every day. Um, for I guess I should start with like, can I do this every day for like 3 weeks? Being calorie deficient and doing some working out here and there, and I don't know. I'm always a little nervous telling people what I'm doing because I don't want them to worry about me. Like obviously I'm not gonna like do anything stupid and crazy, but I mean being calorie deficient is the way to lose weight. Like there's no other way. So I kind of it is what it is. Like you can't. I think it's easy for people to get all upset about what the right way and the wrong way to do everything is. And I don't think those people are wrong. I just think that they kind of forget the humanness of this. Like if I snack with vegetables and I work out more and I'm calorie deficient, I will lose weight. It's math. Obviously, there's like super crazy crash diets and stupid things people do, and I'm not gonna hurt myself in the process. It's more about just making a calculated choice to not eat fat and eat food in their most raw form as much as possible. I think that's helped me before. When I was about, I think, 25ish, I I dropped weight from about 173 to about 155. I'd say about 155 was kind of pushing it. I was probably pretty thin at that point. I was probably pushing a little too much. I just got excited with it. But this time I'm going to try to both lose weight and add muscle. So at the same time. So I think I'm a little bit half baked right now about what I want to do, but I know I need to start losing weight. So I'm going to start being calorie deficient to start with, and then I think I was talking to ChatGPT. I'm thinking about what workouts to add to my routine just to add muscle generally, and I'm not trying to be jacked. I'm just trying to. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I want. I think is the whole point. So that's one thing. Um, you'll see also that I'm on hiatus with the Facebook thing. That one's scary and annoying to me. So yesterday's podcast, I think I picked it apart, the idea, um, that I created this Copilot University, and at the end of the day, it's just a job I don't want to do. It's a cool idea, and that is a job for somebody, and I like most of it. I just can't. I'm not closing the book on it. I'm not saying I'm not doing it anymore. I'm still like paying for my website to be hosted. You know, I'm not gonna like cancel everything today, but I'm gonna give it like, I guess, 20 more days to like decide if I'm all in or on it or not. And the fact that I'm not at this point, 13 days in, not a good sign. You know, and I think the point of noticing that is good. I mean, I guess one could argue that having broken my streak only twice in 14 days is like not super terrible, you know, like that I'm being too hard on myself. Maybe I am, you know, I gotta think through that. But I do know that I don't like what it is right now. I mean, if I had 5 companies calling me and asking me for help with their business, I would really enjoy that. That's something I really enjoy doing, helping people improve their business and coaching people on how to do their business better. Um, and coaching people in general, just trying to help people be better at whatever they want to be better at is something I enjoy. Um, but I haven't really got over the hump of putting in the effort to acquire those people and becoming the persona that they need me to be to listen to me. I am not a rah person. I'm a you got to be accountable kind of person. I'll talk to you every day about it, and I'll coach you. You know, I'll get you excited, but I'm not gonna yell and scream and beat the table and say like, if you don't do this, you suck. I don't know. That doesn't really make sense to me. That's not really how I receive good information from good people. Um, so I'm just gonna call it a hiatus right now, and I'm not gonna. I really just want to take it off and pretend like it never happened, but I'm gonna leave it up there for a while. I'll leave it up there for the 20 days until I make a decision. So at least it forces me to be accountable to make a decision and keep it top of mind that I'm actively not working on this project that I thought I said I would work on, and that's not good, and that's falling out of my discipline. So, but I think my property company with Sean is kind of really moving, and I need a lot of time and energy spent there right now. I know that I see the benefit of that. I mean, I think it goes back to like if I had a business partner in these other avenues of my life, I think I would be more all in, and that's on me to not find that person, right? I'm not posting anywhere. I'm not looking for this person. I'm just like hoping that they just like show up at my doorstep, and you know, that's not right. That's not gonna happen. So I think I'm just gonna call it a hiatus today and move on and think that's fine, you know, and just let it be. I think that's one thing, like I've said before, is like if I'm stuck, don't quit, don't get upset, just let it be for a little bit, rather than like you need this whole huge swath of tools to hit it with, you know, like just let it be for a little bit, and it'll be something eventually. So that's my small updates about what's going on with me, and I will say like we're getting closer with the property thing. I mean, every day we get closer. Sean's working on the indices and making all the census data make sense so that um, a computer model, a machine learning model can understand it. I'm working on the map portion of it, making the maps and how to make those scalable and customized, and using our geolocation data to build those. So I'm both excited and scared because I'm kind of like stuck right now. I don't really know what to do, but I've been there before. And that's for the point of this. Like this helps me reflect that I've been there before and got through it. So let's get through it. You know, let's keep power through. I need to watch a ton of YouTube videos about maps and building maps and things like that. But we met this morning with a potential CTO for us, and I don't know. I don't think he's the guy, only because I just don't think he's super interested. Not because I think it's a bad project or he's a bad person. I think he'd be great. But I think, if anything, we just need really, really, really motivated people. Like, there's no there's no amount of intelligence that beats obsession, you know? And these people, whoever's on this team, needs to be obsessed for us to be successful. And I don't want them on the team if they're not obsessed. Like, why are you here? You know, like, if you're not working as hard as me, you're holding us back, because I will find someone that works as hard as me, or I'll do it for you. You know, I've been really like a get stuff done person in most of my life, and especially in this project. And you know, I want people like that, because that's the only way we were all fair. It's all the only way we're all like moving forward together. You know, you're wasting my time, you know, and wasting my energy to push and pull you. But anyways, so I'll stop there. That's kind of quick update about what's going on in my life and where my head's at. I think that if anything, this has been really good to just keep me accountable. And the thing, I guess one last thought. When I started these 3 things and now this 4th thing, do you see where the red is? Do you see the things that I'm having trouble keeping track of and wanting to quit the most, and struggling to get done? Like, the push-ups and pull-ups is like the first thing I do every day. It's the simplest thing. It takes me 5 seconds, and also I feel good about it. It feels like I'm building towards something. The podcast, I do it every day, even if it's for just a few minutes, but I feel like it's a good reflection for me that it's good to check in with yourself every day. And this is kind of like meditation. It's kind of like, I'm not saying it is meditation, but I'm saying it's a version of meditation, in my opinion. It's a version of checking in with yourself, seeing how things are going, seeing how your day is, seeing how your time's being spent, and reflecting on previous things that have happened so that you don't lose track of your day, lose track of your time. And I think we only grow when we take the time to check in with ourselves, you know? So, I think this is the way. I think it's like therapy every day, honestly. It's like me being therapy to myself, and I'm just pretending that the therapist is there to just nudge me along, I guess. But I think it's super necessary to keep me moving. And my point is, like, maybe there's a reason I can't keep up with the Facebook posts, because I don't find that project to be one of my forever projects, you know, and that's okay. It might not be, and that's okay. The fact that I've kind of changed the scope of that project several times, and I've changed my eagerness in it several times, and I think it's been really hard for me, because I don't. I think it really messes with my imposter syndrome too, because I think I know a lot about AI, and I think I know a lot about how to improve businesses. I think I can improve businesses if someone would let me work with them. I do it as a job. I mean, it's like, I've done it for like 10 years. But I think there's a reason why I've never really made it past that part, and maybe it's just not for me. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it in hiatus mode until I figure that part out. But I think it's really easy to be good at a job, but it's really hard to do the parts of the job you hate. And I think this is one of the parts of the job I hate, which is acquiring customers, acquiring businesses. I don't know if I can get over that hump, honestly. Even though I think I'd be good at it if I got over that hump, but I don't know. I mean, I have one business that I'm working with, but it's kind of an old friend. I'm not it's not something I met randomly. Yeah, maybe I'll leverage that to do more, but it's hard, to sell something, you need to be bothering people a lot. You need to be like, and I say bothering, and I shouldn't be saying bothering, because it's like a pretty bad way of explaining it, but like, you need to be like talking to them. You need to be like, hey, where you at? What's going on? And I don't know. That's not really me. It's not really my personality. And I don't know if I'm ready to change that part of me to do that yet. So anyways, end of thought. But I think it's really relevant that the 2 times I've missed it were the things that was the thing I wanted to quit. And the thing I have lost belief in, I think, is the way to explain it. But I have something, I guess, I think is somewhat interesting and important. So last night I was putting my daughter to bed, and I think this goes back to a couple of days ago, I did a day 13, and it was about how my daughter didn't want to do something, and I wanted her to, and I whatever, she didn't want to, and it eventually landed with me leaving the situation, saying I'm not mad, I'm disappointed, and please go watch that one if that's interesting to you, because I think something as a parent that I'm learning is there's so many things that from the child's perspective and the parent's perspective, they're, I mean, on the surface they're just so different, but I'm truly trying to like unwrap the onion of like why that is. And obviously there's like big things like your child brain is not developed and blah blah, but I think there's something deeper there too, where it's like the parent inherently feels this thing that I call parent love, which is the unconditional full feeling that parents feel when they look at their kids or know their kids exist. Um, and it's such a powerful feeling that I think a lot of parents, including my own, forget what their life was like before they had that feeling. Because like as a kid, you don't have that feeling. You don't have this like feeling of unconditionalness. You kind of feel like your relationships are kind of transactional or kind of conditional, in my opinion. Like you kind of, and I think it stems from when you're a kid, and this is the story, is like when you're a kid, you don't, and when you're an adult, you forget this because you've been an adult for so long and you have all your needs met that you forget that what it was like. And so when you're a kid, you for you don't know that things are going to be okay. You haven't lived long enough to know. You haven't like lived through like things that have happened that are bad to know what that things are gonna like figure themselves out. And so like when I like do something that's different than what I've historically done with my kids, be it raise my voice or something, or act differently, or be sick, they get scared. And it's scary. Sometimes it's scary because they're like worried about what you're, I guess, I don't know. I think it's all, they're scared because they don't feel that parent love from you or towards you. They feel like a security that from you, and that's why they want to be around you. I mean, like there's a very smart reason. Like my kids go to daycare all day, but they come home and they know I'm their dad, and they know their mom's their mom, despite spending less time with us than their teachers at daycare. And it's always confused me, but I think it's like, I think at some level they know that I am here to protect them, and those people are too, but like there's a limit to it, like they couldn't, I think there's like a piece of this where they can understand that I'm here for them and their mind, and maybe there's some like pheromones in there too or whatever that keep us like honest about it, um but I don't think they can't grasp the parent love is my point, and they can't understand fully that when if I ever yell at them, or if I ever am acting differently, or if I'm ever, or when I go away, oh my God, when I go away for a day, when I go see my friends for a day or a night, that I'm coming back, like that like they get so freaked out when I don't come back. I think they get more freaked out than when a teacher quits and they don't have that teacher anymore. Like I think it's just different, but because they understand that like I'm their person, I'm their family, I'm their, but they don't feel the love I feel for them. And I think that's where it comes from, is like they get scared because they think, because they need me. They need me for everything. They need me to protect them, to keep them safe, to feed them, to like I, we forget as adults like how like hard it is, but like how uncertain everything is in life when you're a kid, because you haven't lived long enough to know that when a parent gets a cold, that they're not going to die, that it's not going to be, that's not forever. Like time moves so slowly in the kid's life that they like, a day is like a month for us. Like it doesn't, us being adults, like it doesn't like work that way. They I feel like I'm not explaining this well, but it's more like they just, they can't comprehend new experiences because they're brand new. You know, they're so different than anything they've ever experienced. And I think this goes back to like when my kid's upset and screaming and crying and yelling, like it's so easy for me as the adult to know that their screaming and crying and yelling is stupid, is like unwarranted, is not needed. But it's hard for me to try to empathize with it. Like, I think the opposite approach, like the easiest thing to do as a parent is say, stop doing that. You're being unreasonable right now. Like you're freaking out and you shouldn't be. You're totally fine. Nothing's wrong. Like I'm sorry I dropped your cup of water. Like I'm sorry I dropped that thing you want, or I'm sorry we can't buy that thing you want, or we ran out of that thing you want, or we can't do it right now. Or we need to go to bed, or whatever it is. It's something that's always like the parents like rolling their eyes because like I don't know how to explain this to you. Like if I could make you feel better, I would. But this is like pretty hard and fast, you know, pretty much done. Um, the thinking about it the opposite way though is like, what would it take for me, Brian the adult, to be that upset? Okay, think of it that way. What if something happened? It wouldn't be like I didn't get my sucker or I need to go to bed. Like what would make me so violently upset that I'd be screaming and crying and just hitting everything around me and like just on the floor just drooling and just sobbing and my daughter throws up when she's so upset. Like what would I have to do that I'm so upset that I throw up because I'm just hyperventilating and just like gagging and just choking and drooling and all these things that kids do, you know, just hitting the floor so hard, like, you know, and knowing, maybe they don't know this, but I would know that it's not going to do anything about it. Like, what would have to happen that I'm that violently emotional and, and it's like it's happening involuntarily. You know what I mean? Because I don't think my kids are choosing to be that way. I don't think my kid chooses to be so violently upset that they throw up. Like, it's so involuntary. And when I put it in that perspective, it's like, man, I would have had to like watch someone murder my whole family. I'd have to like watch something ridiculous. I'd have to be in a car accident and like things, body parts are not in the right spots. Like I would have to like be witnessing the most ridiculously tragic, upsetting things. Like I've seen some like pretty awful things and pretty awful movies and stuff. Like, but it would, I mean, to put me in that state of mind, if like Saw put me in a certain state of mind where I'm feeling uncomfortable and unsafe, like put me into like a violent upsetness, like I'd have to be watching like Warzone stuff in real life with my best friends and family. And the point I'm trying to make is like I think it's easy to tell the kid that they are being irrational, but I think there's something there to say, I know you're being irrational, and maybe my goal isn't to teach you you're being irrational. It's to maybe 10%, maybe 20%, maybe 50%. Also, the goal is to recognize that you are in a car accident right now. You are in a war zone right now. You are so upset that you can't comprehend your reality because it's such a ridiculous circumstance that has made you this upset. And I think it's a good reflection as a parent to like be reminded that this kid might be acting irrationally, but or feeling unreasonable things, but it is real feelings that they're actually feeling. They're not faking it. Like they are actually that upset. And what would it take for me to be that upset? And how would I be feeling at that point? And what would I need from somebody who, like, if I was sitting next to somebody and we both just watched something, like I think car accident is the easiest way to just not make it too gruesome. Like something ridiculously terribly as a car accident, like a really really terrible car accident. Like if I've been in a couple of car accidents and like you're definitely hyperventilating, you're definitely like you don't know what's going on, you like you're kind of blacked out, you're kind of like the world's kind of spinning, like people are talking to you, you don't know what they're saying. Like I think that's how we should approach the screaming child, because I think that's what they're feeling. If I'm guessing, if I'm trying to put them myself in their shoes and say, what would it take for me to be that upset? Uh, If I pretend like I was just in a car accident, you know, I feel more what they're feeling because I can remember what that was like, more so than I can remember what it was like to not get that stuffed animal at that store that I wanted. And because I have stories like that where I was like violently screaming and crying. I remember this because I have the stuffed animal now because I still have it because it was like one of those things. And I remember I was a pretty calm kid most of the time, but like I lost it. I totally lost it for this one stuffed animal one time. I don't know why, honestly. But if I think of it as like a car accident, I just feel like it makes more sense. And I feel like how you respond to the kid isn't in anger, it's in sadness and empathy. And uh, I feel like it's more helpful. You respond with more helpfulness because you don't think of it as like, you don't label them a kid, you don't label them as being stupid, because I feel like that's so easy to like label them as dumb and unnecessary. But when I pretend that they just got into a car accident and their car accident is them not having that stuffed animal, the car accident murdered their stuffed animal, whatever it is. Um, I feel like it kind of opens my eyes more to what they're actually feeling and what they're going through, and how to handle that, how to better help them. I don't think there is a good way to help somebody that's been in a car accident. You know what I mean? Like obviously there's like some EMS techniques or whatever, but like I don't think there's like a good way to like minimize or turn off that feeling they have. I think it's waiting it out, it's being there for them. But I don't think the answer is yelling at them. I don't think the answer is like telling them even further removed that like you've been in a car accident and now I'm leaving you here behind. I'm leaving you behind because of it. And and like I feel like the doubling down of it is problematic and traumatic further than they need to be. Um, so that's been what I've been trying to do. And so like I had a really, really tough time last 2 weeks, 3 weeks with my daughter, going to sleep. She wants to sleep in mommy and daddy's bed. She doesn't want to sleep in her own bed. We've tried probably 20 different techniques of like how to do this better. We tried removing the crib doors for her. We tried putting her to bed slowly. We tried putting her to get bed together. We tried sleeping next to her for a while. Um, and it always ends up with a car accident. It always ends up with her screaming, crying, upset, and and it's hard. I mean, in some ways, she puts us into a box where I can't really yell at her. I'm not that kind of person, anyways. Like I don't think that's helpful. But the more upset I get, the more upset she gets, and I think that's common with parents. And then we end up in this like mountain where we like both don't know how to get down from it. We're both upset, and then we say things we don't mean and everything. But my daughter kind of puts me in a box because she violently throws up when she's so upset. Like there isn't like a way to like lock her in her room or something. Like I know people will try those kind of tactics to like avoid this, to just say like that's your life now. And maybe we could try that and it would work or whatever. But like at this point she gets so upset that she starts drooling and violently throws up all over the place. And I don't really particularly want that for her or to clean it up or anything, like, but this last night, I think the good thing and bad thing about kids is they change so slowly that you don't really notice it. And I think you make a progress in one realm of their life and they don't make progress in the other realm, and you kind of only worry about the one you're not making progress in. But I don't know. I think last night I made 1% progress, and I wanted to share that. It's like, this is what happened. I was putting her to bed. We read every book in the whole thing. We did the whole bedtime routine, everything. We're about an hour into this, okay? And we're saying goodnight. And ironically, the thing that's helped us the most saying goodnight and keeping her down is me just talking to her and just trying to throw more and more positivity her way. How was school? Tell me about your friends. School's so great. The thing that I think works the best is she doesn't understand love, right? She's a kid and she doesn't feel it yet. I mean, she doesn't, not to mention she probably won't feel it until she has kids, but like I I just have resorted to just translating I love you into you make me happy. I don't know if that's a good translation or not, but it's something she responds to, is saying like I am so happy when I see you, when I play with you. You make daddy so happy. Daddy's so happy seeing you, playing with you. I have so much fun with you. You're the best person ever. And I just love spending time with you. And I want to spend so much time with you tomorrow morning. And I want to play with you tomorrow morning, but we need to go to bed now. And I don't know. I think it's helping. I think it's like, I think of all the things I can say, that's one of the few things that she actually responds to. And it seems to open her eyes a little bit. But last night in particular, I made a 1 more percent, I think, progress. It's like she's been particularly upset the last few days, and I never thought of it because I have the parent love. I don't have the kid love. I don't have the kid hat on. And I forgot that she's insecure. She thinks we're all going to leave her. Like at night when we're not around, like the most secure she can feel is laying next to, being held by me or being laying next to me at night, because she knows she's safe. She knows I'm here. She knows I'm alive. Like 90% of her worries can't happen because I'm here. I'm next to her. I'm alive. And I'm going to continue keeping her alive. Like that's what it comes down to. She's worried I'm not going to keep her alive anymore because she knows how she can't keep herself alive. Like that's very apparent. I think that we're like these big beings that are walking above her all day, and she's looking up at us and like asking for food and security and love and cuddles and like um and so I finally like it opened my eyes. I was like I tried to put myself in her position again at last night at bedtime, and it opened my eyes that it's like I totally forget. This is what the whole point of the story is. Like I said something like Daddy's sick. Daddy's got a boo boo, right? Boo boo in his throat, and he's taking medicine because I was talking poorly. I was my voice was not working, and she was like, yeah. And I said, do you feel scared when Daddy's sick? And she was like, and and then I was like, oh, I totally forgot. I totally didn't think about that. That she is scared I'm gonna not be around. I'm gonna die. Like she's never seen Daddy scared before, and even if she has, it's been more than 3 weeks ago, so she forgot. Like she doesn't remember. And I totally forgot. I need to be reassuring her constantly that I'm not dying. I'm not getting like we all know that I have a cold. Like it's like I'll be fine in a week. Like it's totally fine. But like to her, her world is ending. Like it could be ending. Like her whole security system, like the one of the two people she needs the most to survive is dying. Is like is something. She doesn't know what dying is, but she is bad. Is what she would say. Is not good. Is sounds bad. Like she would say like boo boo. Big. He's got a big boo boo, and boo boos are bad. And once I reassured her that I'm taking medicine, I'm feeling. I'm not saying it like snapped her into like perfect child mode and she like went to bed immediately, but like her anxiety level, I could see it in her eyes, went from a 8 to a 4. Bedtime still sucks and is like, yeah, it gives anxiety. I think to all of us, it's just like a weird thing that the sun makes us do, which is like be awake in the darkness. Um, because darkness is scary, I think generally, um, but I think it's a good reflection I need to keep in mind is like it's so easy to fall into I don't think it's a bad habit, but it's just a habit of forgetting that your kid needs you for everything, and to label that need, and by that need I mean like that anxiety and like um neediness and wanting to be around you ness and like holding on to you and bothering you and wanting to always need attention from you ness, labeling that as like wrong and bad and kid like and kid behavior and things they need to grow out of behavior and things I need to toughen them up for behavior. But I don't know. I mean, if we all pictured ourselves living with giant people and the only way to get food was to beg them for it. That's what the kid would say. And then they would throw us some scraps from something that we don't understand how they get it. Um, you think if I lived with 30-foot people or monkeys or aliens that I didn't really understand their language, I didn't really understand what they do all day. I didn't really understand their motivations for anything. I don't feel the love that they feel towards me. I don't. I would be so scared that they would just kill me or eat me all day, right? Like, doesn't that make sense? Like, if they when they harm me, like I would be, I would have so much anxiety that they could just stop caring about me and just do awful things to me any moment of any day, because because I don't know that they feel unconditional love towards me. They can tell me, but I think there's always like a weird like, are they gonna turn on me kind of thing? Because I just don't feel, I wouldn't feel love towards these aliens, and the idea that they would feel this unconditional love towards me is a weird concept. Like I would have to take a long time of, it would take years of them reminding me that they have it for me to trust them, you know? And that's me knowing what love feels like, and the kid doesn't even know what that feels like. Like I think I need to expand that thought bubble. I think there's something there with living with aliens. I think that's just really what it's like for a kid. Is these aliens care about you, but you don't really know how you got here. You don't really know what the point of this is. You don't know like their motivations. Like it takes years, I'd say 10 years, 15 years of them consistently being around for you to like feel like they are around, and they're going to stay around, and they're not going anywhere. Like one of my most traumatic feelings was when we moved when I was like 9 years old we moved like 3 miles. It wasn't even that big of a deal. One house to the other house. And like, that was so traumatic to me because like my whole community changed. My neighbors changed, my babysitters changed, like everything changed. And my parents were fighting at the time, like, and you just don't know who to trust, what to trust at that point. And I'm sure my parents would say like he's having trouble with the move, but and that's a valid point from a very good parent. Like it's just, I guess I'm trying to like really put myself into the shoes of the child and think, I'm gonna be left outside one day. Like these people are gonna like don't need me. I don't know that they spent their entire life savings and hundreds or thousands of hours of their life building me this perfect house, or buying this perfect house for me, or making money to buy me this house. Like I don't understand that motivation at all, because my motivation is get candy. Like it's not, it's very linear. It's very short term. And so you project your short term wants and needs onto them, and think that's how they live their life too, and whatever. But um so I don't know, that was a thought bubble I had with my daughter. I just never, you forget that they don't know that things are going to be okay. That's how I started this. You forget that things that are normal and common for us, people, and I say us as in parents, but also us that have people that have been alive for more than like 12 years. It's easy to forget that they live in a different world, and that world has car accidents in it every single day, and that world, your life, your food, your well-being is dependent upon everyone being bigger than you, not harming you. And the whole world's bigger than you. Every single person can harm you. There are animals, there are people. Like you don't know who's good or bad. You can't read faces very well. You can't understand motivations very well. Like even in a video game, if I was to like be a character and I woke up in an environment in which aliens were my parents, and every single being in the video game was bigger than me, and I had to really, really be vocal and annoying to get any of my needs met, I think that would be a pretty frustrating and sad video game. Like it's like, if not for like the joy of a child also knowing that, like also just being so present, with their world. I think it'd be a pretty depressing video game to like be the smallest being and to take years that you don't want to be years, you want to be days to be the best, the biggest being, to be the smallest being, and nothing you can really do about it to make yourself bigger. There's nothing like, there's no like play harder or do more or play more. Like there's no like try harder to be bigger or stronger or have your needs met more. It's like it's a waiting game. And so I can see how like even the smallest thing, like me and my wife went away for a wedding, and just being away for 2 days, my daughter was freaked out for like 3 days after that. Every time we left the room or left the house, she like thought we were leaving forever again. And she's still 2, so it's like a communication gap to like explain to her that like we're gonna be gone for like just a few days. She doesn't know what a day is, like just a few sleeps. I know that's like we're supposed to say when they're a little bit older, like how many sleeps, because they can kind of comprehend that. But she's not there yet, and so it's hard. I don't know what to do to make, if I could live that experience back again. I don't know what I would have done differently to prevent this probably series of car accidents for her where she thought both of her parents were gone forever. I mean, she like wouldn't talk to us for a couple hours. Like she was that like scared. Like what is going? It wasn't like she was mad at us. It was more like she was just like confused. Like she thought she started a new life with these new people, and that's traumatic. I mean, time has moved so slowly for them. So I don't know. Hopefully that opened your brain up a little bit and helped you think about your children or your relationships. I think the more I put myself in their shoes in a literal way, I think it's easy to be like, oh, okay, I wanted something, I didn't get it. What would I do? No, it's more like you're living with these like 30-foot alien people. You're in their house. They could kill you or eat you at any moment. You don't really know what's what, and you start getting excited because they start giving you what you want. They start giving you your candy, your food, your clothes. You get to watch Blue's Clues, and then every once in a while they snap at you, and you don't really know why because you don't understand what they're going through, their motivations, their empathy. Like when they snap at you, you go, "Oh crap! Is this the part where they kill me and eat me?" Like as the parent, you think that's stupid and a joke. Like, of course I'm not gonna kill you and eat you. I'm just like upset, but like they don't know what upset is. Like sometimes you go long periods without being upset with them. Like they don't know what that means. And also like you're so much more powerful to them, and they don't feel that love that you have towards them. Like they don't know that is like a thing you have that in almost every case makes it impossible for you to harm them in a real way, or makes it impossible for you to enjoy harming them in a real way. Like it's most of the time when we harm our kids, it's like, and not that I think anyone's beating their kids really at this point. I mean, I'm sure there are people that are, but like I feel like harming them is like purposefully doing something that they don't want you to do, or purposefully taking longer to help them than you could have. Like I feel like that's kind of purposeful harm at this point, that in today's society that we're navigating how to best handle. But I think it's so hard to remind yourself that they need you for everything. Everything. I've sometimes that because you're paying for it. Like but in your time and your money and your energy. But like, I don't know. If I woke up in a different planet tomorrow, run by aliens or bears, like, and they could just kill me or eat me whenever they felt like it. Like, of course I wouldn't want to go to bed. Of course I wouldn't want to like sleep. Of course I wouldn't like. Of course I would think I was being killed all the time, and I was getting in car accidents all the time. Like, of course I would think that things are just so much bigger than they are. Until I found out that these bears love me and they consider me an equal. They consider me better than them. All I want to do as a parent is to what? Make your kid happy. Help them be successful. Like happy success. Like what else is there? Like, and obviously there's no like formula for that. That's the hard part, or else we would just do it. But I don't know. I thought that was a good thought bubble, and I wanted to expand it. So maybe I'll keep thinking about that, like what it would be like to live with aliens, and live that life out. But I think it's something we're all forgetting as parents, you know? 'Cause it's easy. It's easy to forget what that life was like because you're so focused on your life today, you know? Your problems, your experiences, how you think. Um, but I feel like that's the closest I can get right now to like what a kid's thinking or feeling. And it's scary. So their car accidents make more sense to me, you know? So, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll continue to keep working on these things. I feel like this is a good representation of where I'm at with life right now, where it's like I have some things I really like doing, and I have some things that I really hate doing, and I'm deciding if I should do them. You know, I think that's a pretty good metaphor of what's going on with me generally. But that's it. I'll wrap this up. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.